Hello and welcome to Socially Numb. I'm your host, Richie Leahey. I am actually in the process of coming back from vacation as I record this. So, like last week, I'm not sure what this episode will be like or how long it'll be. I basically have two things to talk about. The first thing, I'm going back through and bringing in some of my older projects to get up on the website, and I am on rockets. Now, rockets is another Science Olympiad deal, and if you remember, I did these way back in March. So basically, I volunteered extra at an elementary school as part of their Science Olympiad program to be a Science Olympiad coach. And what we had was a pump. I think was it a water pump or an air pump that shot a rocket up into the air, and the children were supposed to design a rocket that would go the farthest, stay in the air the longest, whatever, something like that. Those were the rules stipulated. So I have a bunch of pictures. This is probably the biggest lot of pictures of old pictures that I have, because I let the children come up with their own designs. And that's one of the things that disappointed me a lot about Science Olympiad. It was the fact that parents or teachers, someone on the other schools, would go ahead and build these elaborate designs that I know the students didn't do. I would talk to other teachers and be like, how did you guys come up with that? Oh, we watched a YouTube tutorial and our children just copied it. Or this was last year's winner, so that's why there are 3 other rockets that look exactly the same, and they got it from YouTube, or they got it from some science website or the NASA website. And to me, I would rather have the kids learn on their own, because they're not going to go ahead and get any better if they are just copying designs. And to me, it's all about self-learning, because I think you remember that way. If you learn, or if you write down your own words, like, your vocabulary increases. So if someone tells you what a word means, there's a good chance you're not going to remember that. And that goes with the rockets. If someone tells you how to build a rocket, you're not going to learn anything. You're just going to do it. It's kind of like following directions. Yeah, you can learn a little bit of procedural stuff, like how to follow directions and everything, but are you really learning the core task at hand? And no, I don't think so. So the designs vary, because each group, I let them work with friends or whatever. I figured that would get them to build the best rockets. And we had one that actually did compete pretty far, or pretty good, with the others. I don't know if they did a parachute. I can't remember how they did it. But that one will be coming later as I do the Science Olympiad actual competition pictures, which are a little bit different than the pictures that I'm posting, or I have been posting. These were all classroom projects, which helped us pick people to be on the team, and then went from there, basically. Ones that were really interested into it, and they had to have certain grades because it gave them something to work for. You couldn't just throw them on the team just because they wanted to do it, but they didn't follow directions during the day. Basically, regular classroom stuff, so I would have to talk to teachers or whatever and see which students were the best behaved. But that's the project. I've been meaning to do more of these, but I just haven't done them. I always forget, because I get into the groove of doing a podcast and I forget all about it. So that's what we have this week. I have a few more other ones. I'm going to break them up. I'm not going to throw them all in. Some of them are they're not all Science Olympiad. I think I have like 2 left of those if I do count the competition as separate. Maybe I have one more. I don't know. I don't know which ones I did. I have to go back through and look at my show notes and get those posted on the website. So that's what I'll be doing. I have like some other generic projects that I've been doing, or that I've done just around the house, and so I'll bring those in at some point too. One of them would be like painting a guitar. I'll either talk about it on the podcast, or I'll just put it up on the website. It's usually easier just to talk about it on the podcast, if I'm being honest. And I don't even know what episode this is, if we're getting close to the 50 milestone where I'll make the decision. Video game wise, of course, I was out on vacation. I did have the 3DS with me, but when you're on a vacation, you're not going to be sitting around playing video games the whole time. So, of course, I didn't make a lot of progress on the Zelda games I have been playing. So, with that, I did switch from Twitch. I talked about it before. So my Twitch account is now gone. I didn't like the fact that they wouldn't let me put the ads, or at least monetize, get a little bit of the ad money. To me, if they're going to throw ads, I know it's their service, but there are other ones that don't show ads before your video. I think maybe, I don't know if Periscope does. They didn't before. They might now. I think they started to roll that out to certain users maybe. But I don't know if I can actually use the Open Broadcast software, OBS. I think that's what it stands for, to actually do that to Periscope or whatever. So we're going to stick with probably YouTube Live. So follow me on YouTube. I've been getting a decent bit of subscribers, so hopefully that stays and our numbers can keep growing as I get into it more, either not just gaming, but some of the tech videos and some other things. If gaming doesn't really take, then we'll just stick with the tech videos, and I can talk about video games on the podcast or get away from those altogether. Doesn't matter to me. It looks like my biggest fans like the tech content more. So even though I switched the category of this to video games, I'm still getting people coming over for the tech talk, and I haven't been giving it to them. So I'm going to get into that today, the big topic, and this is why I don't know if I'm going to go super long, because I'm a couple minutes in, but I want this topic to take the bulk of the podcast, and that's what we're going to do. So the big news that's been floating around, and there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and that is net neutrality. And what net neutrality means is, in the United States, anyone can visit any website. Once you pay for internet access, you pretty much can access anything you want, whether that's legal, or if you want, get on the black market, do stuff illegal. I mean, basically there are no rules. Now, the government does shut down some of the links, but if you know the direct link, you can pretty much get anywhere you want. And that's the rules. The internet exploded due to these rules in the 90s and 2000s. Their independent websites would come up. They would burst into these $million industries. It wasn't all Silicon Valley ones where you go ahead and get money from donors or a round of funding or anything like that. These were big time deals that were happening, and people could pick up and make their own. So anyone could make their own shop. Anyone could build their own eBay. A lot of people that have done, like, a lot of them were invested. If you go back through and look, a lot of them were investor driven, like, hey, here's a group of people, we're going to go ahead and make this website. But some people did strike it big whenever they had anything, just an idea. One of the ideas, I think, that I remember was I think it was a picture of a rabbit in a bowl, and it was like, if I don't raise this much money in donations to my site, I'm going to cook and eat this rabbit. Which, of course, he sent it out to PETA, and they went ahead and shamed him, which only drove more people to his website, and I think he collected the $1 million or something crazy he raised. I could be wrong, but I think he did go on daytime talk show, so I don't think it was a hoax. I think this initial website spawned a bunch of fake imitators, which the internet always does. But I think, and in the end, though, I think he did donate the money to PETA or wherever, and it was like, it's just a joke. Probably because of pressure. But if that was really not a joke, he should have stuck the course. But that's what the internet is. Anything can go. A lot of YouTube stars, or whatever they call themselves, it's kind of turning into television. Well, what net neutrality would do, if they get rid of it, means that the internet providers can pick and choose what websites you go to and which websites get the most traffic. So, for example, my small website doesn't get a lot in the grand scheme of things, even though it's like a couple thousand or whatever viewers a month. So thousands of viewers isn't really that much whenever you have websites such as Netflix getting millions of views a day. So what these internet companies would do is they would either tier your service or use that as some type of, think of like cable television, okay? Think of the internet as that, which everyone hates. So you pay for cable, even though you get some channels for free over the air. They're the biggest ones, NBC, ABC, I even think the CBS. Which ones did I miss? I don't even know. Fox. There's like 4 or 5 of them. CW's, I think, is the 5th one. And Univision now. You can usually get all those over the air along with PBS. Those are free channels. A lot of people don't know that. All you have to do is go get an antenna, and they broadcast those over the air. You don't have to actually pay for cable. But in like the 90s, 2000s, everyone kind of got tricked into paying for cable because then they added value. They added these other channels that everyone watched and talked about. ESPN for sports, you needed that. This was before like every conference had their own network. So you needed that, so you had to pay for that. And then you had, okay, well, if I want Disney for the kids, there's like a Disney show, there's a kids package where I pay an extra $10 a month or whatever for a kids package along with my $10, $15 for the sports package. And after a while, your $30 cable television, when you're picking all these packages, well, okay, I need history because of Vikings is on history. Then I need AMC because Walking Dead is on AMC. Then I need this channel because whatever. And so that's what kind of happened. So eventually, all these channels, and they realized, well, people, they'll just add channels during the season. They'll pick, well, so we'll just make bigger packages where if you pay $15 more, you get all of these extra channels or $30 more a month for the premium service. And then you can even get the rights to pay for HBO. This is before HBO had their own channel. So like once you paid like $100 a month, then you had the rights to go ahead and buy HBO or whatever. If you don't want to buy it special, standalone, you can get it on discount. And that's pretty much how cable television exploded in price. So now you have the internet, and they're looking to do the same thing. And these big cable companies, Comcast, I've already been tweeting at them because they run an ad saying they support net neutrality. No, they don't. I've had Comcast. I think that's what my parents have. And what they do, they limit your viewing. You can't watch on the internet. They limit it based on how many devices you have. You can't use Chromecast because that's putting it on a television. You have to buy their stupid box. Anytime they get a chance, they're going to nickel and dime you for higher costs. And so don't put it past them that they want this to be ruled. They pretend. But then in the end, I think I saw that they were one of a group that paid $500 million to get net neutrality removed. Those little $5 ads on Twitter don't make up for $500 million in lobbying money to get it removed in the government. That money goes a lot farther than here's $10 to advertise on Twitter so 1,000 people see it, because Twitter, I think, guarantees so many clicks or something. I don't know how their ads work. But if it's like Facebook, I think you get so many views and they want you to get so many clicks on it before they stop showing it, just because they want you to have some value. Otherwise, why would you advertise with them? But anyway, that is what it has turned into. And they want to bring down whatever. And they say they're not going to, but they want to bring this paid service onto everyone, every listener. And an example is already started on cell phones. So cell phones, they used to have unlimited data. They blamed the loss of, or they stopped offering this plan because of speeds. Because too many people were downloading too much data. And it wasn't fair to people who didn't use it. But that wasn't the real reason. Because I've had unlimited data the whole time. I wasn't one of the ones that fell for the trick of upgrading to get a new phone. Why would I upgrade to get a phone if I can buy a phone outright for $100? And I've been in Verizon. And whenever they give you a plan that, like, your grandfather did an unlimited data for like $60 or whatever it was, whatever it is, I don't know. They try to like upsell you. Well, you can get a new phone. I'm like, I already paid for this phone. It was only $100. And then they're like, well, we can give you this. And we go through and crunch all the numbers. And every single plan that's not unlimited data drives up my price, because that's what they want. And they already started to break out the net neutrality thing, because what they're doing is on cell phones, they are letting you stream certain websites for free. The NFL channel, who everyone knows Verizon has a deal with, I think Verizon does, where you can watch your games and it doesn't count on your data. Wouldn't streaming live football games eat up more data than someone just sitting there browsing unlimited data or playing Pokemon Go or something? So don't tell me that you're worried about network speeds if you're going to let people stream football games for free, because that's live television and that eats up more bandwidth than pretty much anything. I mean, I know you're only, depending on what size screen you have, if you're viewing in high def, you only need 300 pixels resolution. But that's the main problem, is if they're going to give priority to a couple sites and they're going to try to kill your Netflix probably. And what they'll do is they'll say, well, you pay $10 for Netflix, but you also have to pay us $10 because you're streaming a lot of Netflix. So in reality, your Netflix is now going to cost you $20. Or they could do even more than that, basically killing Netflix, unless Netflix is giving these guys a bunch of their profit, which then in turn would mean that they have less library to show or anything. You know how painful it is to watch a TV show that you missed because they make you sign in with your TV locator, your cable company, and then it doesn't work? And it's much easier just to find another random site that it's been uploaded to and just watch it there. That's what they're trying to do with the internet. They're trying to have banners pop up that said, oh, did this website load too slow? You can boost your speeds on lower tier websites by paying an extra $5 a month, which would take me out and a bunch of other people. So that's pretty much it for this week. I'm not going long because I want you to think of that. Net neutrality. Write your congressman, call in. You need to raise a stink, because what's going to happen is this will be bigger than anything that's ever happened. This will make the Trump presidency a colossal failure, because when you look back at it, it's all about big business, and we can't have that. So anything about the internet you want to keep the same, make sure you put that in. Make sure that everyone sees it. Tell your friends. Reach out. But that's it. Stop the rule to get rid of it. We need net neutrality. Every website should be equal. Otherwise, there's no chance for the smaller man like myself. So if you like the podcast, reach out to your friends and tell them to support net neutrality. Thanks, and I'll see you next week.